infected and non-infected alike.
That's why our home is so precious.
Alright, so let's talk about the 28 years later new trailer that we just received today, y'all. Still no internet, mic is broken, I'm going through it, but I'm trying to get all that fixed. So the trailer starts off with the soldiers we see in the previous trailers going through these underground tunnels, and I feel like we're going to see a lot of people meeting up. I think the soldiers might be on a different expedition than compared to the father and the son that are going on their own expedition. We'll get to that in a bit. Or maybe they are sent to go rescue them, I don't know. But we do hear in the trailer that there is no rescue in the mainland once you go over there. So that's something we got to keep in note. But we do see the giant infected here, and things are going to get brutal. That skull was crushed. But we do see a little bit more of this island that seems to be very protected, and people seem to have found a way to live here. And of course, we see that the mainland is not as accessible, especially when the tides come up. That little bridge is completely gone. So it seems that this is the best way possible to continue on living. I don't know what's going on here. If there's a mass grave or if this is like people worshiping something, but I'm going more with mass grave. I don't know. That this looks very eerie right here. And of course, we get a ton of pictures of the infected. This is nightmare inducing. This is exactly the horror we need. And I'm excited to see Danny Boyle at the helm again of this franchise. I think it's going to be amazing. But more pictures of the infected. Look at this guy right here. Just looks so insane. But of course, one of the things we notice here is, of course, we're going to get some flashback scenes. As you see, this is a town that we saw at the beginning in the first trailer, and this is the town now. Apparently, that's the first time we've seen something like this. We also see some of the carnage that's left behind. It's giving me goosebumps, y'all. It really is giving me goosebumps. But it seems that this is like a rite of passage of sorts for the young child that is going on the expedition with his father. But it looks like things take a turn as well. Now, this picture in particular, I thought that this was going to be maybe for this cult that we were going to see, but we do get a little bit more information about the island and why they chose it and all of that. But we do see that the young child and the father are eventually going to get ambushed by all of these infected, as you can see. And the way they run, the way they look, it is just giving off such a eerie vibe here. And I'm curious to see what exactly happened 28 years later, because we do see that Danny Boyle and Alex Garland released a vignette, a feature, sort of extra feature today with the trailer, in which they talk about that they were only going to come back if they were able to see what civilization would look like 28 years into this whole apocalypse. How would people rebuild? How would people continue on with their lives? What exactly is next? And we do see here the soldiers again fighting for their lives against the infected. Very curious where these soldiers came from, if they're from the island or they're from somewhere else as well. And we also see the young boy with his mother, but I'm curious how this eventual reunion with the mother happens, because it's something to note in the trailers. When we see the young boy with the mother and Ralph, we don't see the father. So I wonder if the father is going to die at some point, or maybe they went back into the mainland and then the mother got bit or something like that, because we will see, it looks like from the trailer here, that the infected do come into the the little island, and maybe they eventually get to the mother, and then the boy remembers in the trip with his father that they saw something, maybe the bone temple. Maybe he thinks that this is the way to save the mother against the father's wishes, and we see that the boy takes the mother there. So we do see that the young woman is going to be pregnant as well, and then we see her with the baby later on. So I'm curious just how long, like in a timeline sense, years are going to be in this movie, or months or so. So very curious about that as well. But Raph always looks incredible in the trailers, and he apparently is playing some type of doctor. He said this before to IndieWire, and I've talked about it extensively in all the other breakdowns for the trailers. But of course, the Bone Temple is going to be part of the sequel. Now, another eerie shot of the infected here, and this is just my all-time favorite shot. I cannot get enough of this shot of just the infected standing there. But of course, the Bone Temple is going to be the sequel to this film, which is going to come out next year. Here I was wondering, is this an infected baby, or what is going on here? Like, are the infected sort of evolving? Of course, the infected everybody thought was Killian, and they're pretty much like, that is not Killian, y'all. That is not Killian. But really gorgeous shots here, more of the infected as well. And probably one of the most eeriest scenes in all of this trailer, we get to see a priest bloodied and asking for Judgment Day. And of course, a horde of infected coming through the cathedral, stained glass and all breaking. And it is just a sight to witness. Very curious how this is going to go into what the movie is about, if this is sort of a religious sect that maybe gets a bit more time to shine throughout. Maybe this is right at the beginning and others have decided to follow suit what this sort of priest believed in. But I'm curious to know, but this is one of those images that definitely is going to be haunting to see on the big screen. It's just already haunting to see on the trailer, but we'll see what happens. Let me know what you think about this with cults, sex, and everything going on in 28 years later. But I think this is definitely proving to be such a great film. I'm excited for it. I think everything we see here, the whole thing with the infected and non-infected battling it out, I've said it before, and I think that we definitely do see the infected have a little bit more of a presence. And what I'm saying is that they're not just like out there being like barbaric, they're strategizing. The way they move and stuff now, it seems that there's more of a strategy to them than just going all out. Maybe they are trying to rebuild their own world, and it's sort of a battle between the infected and non-infected to see who will reign supreme, and that's exactly what we see in this movie. And I think Jack O'Connell says it best, Judgment Day is upon us, so you could definitely see like a Judgment Day between the infected and non-infected going through. But this trailer was great. I'm gonna have some theory videos. I just want to break it down right now. I'll have a theory video out tomorrow about what possibly could be happening. I gotta rewatch it a couple of more times, but those were just some of the things I picked up on an initial rewatch. I do think that this film is going to be insane, and we are about 2 months away from it, so cannot wait. Let me know your thoughts and your opinions on the comments down below, and if you're excited for this movie or not, and what did you pick up that I didn't talk about? Leave it down below. And who do you think is the real Jimmy, Jack O'Connell or Aaron Kellyman, who is like the main antagonist? Because obviously Jimmy is somebody to be feared, somebody who is ruthless, so we'll see what happens. Jack O'Connell is a great villain. I'm telling you, watch Sinners this weekend and you'll see why you should be more excited for 28 years later. But as always, that's going to do it for me. Hit that subscribe and notification bell. Let's get to 40,000 subscribers. And as always, I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.
Day of judgment. Yeah, my children! Yeah!
There's no discharge.